Hi, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Rich, better known as Yarn Boy, and welcome to episode 154, Part B. We actually had a Part A, and we're almost 3/4 of the way through this podcast, but someone in this room forgot to turn on the microphone. So if you want to see the silent version, maybe we'll put that up too, and you can watch us. Just like that. I don't want to mention who did it. No, I'm not like that. But it ain't me, babe. No, it ain't me who forgot to turn it on.
I'm so sorry. I almost was ready to cry, honestly.
I don't blame you.
I really was, because...
And I was ready to kill.
He wasn't too happy. But you're calmed down now, right?
Yes, I'm calmed down. Don't push your luck.
Oh, my goodness.
My rescue drink.
Your rescue.
I had to take the ice out of and now put new ice in.
I'm proud of you that you didn't make another drink and drank two. You only had the one.
No, I just want one because I'm suffering from a severe...
I know.
Whatever I suffered from.
He was sick over the weekend. He was really sick. He had a fever.
A fever? You give me fever?
No, but it was awful. You had the chills. And then you were hot.
I don't think I've ever had the chills that bad.
Yeah, I felt so
bad. That was like really awful. And I laid out in the sun all day trying to bake it, whatever it was, out of my body, and obviously only made it worse.
So he took yesterday as a sick day. He was not feeling well. And you went to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And
they test you for flu.
Yeah.
I thought it was the flu. I read that the flu comes on like that.
Yeah, I know.
And then they stick this horrible thin thing up your nostrils.
Ew. Oh, really?
Ew. Yeah. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, that's awful.
And then you wait 10 minutes and they come back and tell you don't have the flu. And then they say, we're going to check you for Lyme's. And they come in and take 4 tubes of blood. How much does it take to test for Lyme's? Jesus, they take more than a goddamn tick.
Well, Lyme's disease is a tick-borne disease, in case you're not familiar. It's very prevalent in this area. You had Lyme disease years ago.
Very prevalent up here.
You have to be really careful.
Yeah, it's a big tick country. Mm-hmm. And I got a new tick I read that it's even more dangerous than the old tick.
Uh-oh.
Has a new kind of neurological disease that's really debilitating. So I'm wonderful.
Great. Well, that's why...
Well, you live in here or you live with gators and pythons. Where could we go?
We check for ticks. We do.
Or you live where you can get sucked up into a funnel and thrown into the next state. Where the hell can you go to live? There's no place safe.
No, there is not.
Or you live on top of an earthquake fall. I mean, there's no place to go.
No.
You put up with what you got to put up with.
That's right. So I'm glad today you're feeling a little bit better. You went to work today, so that was good. So I could knit in the car. I did some commuting knitting. Yep, I posted a picture on Instagram
of
my knitting while I was commuting.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about knitting, because this show is a show about knitting. And
yes, it is. Not a show about other things.
Right. It's also a little bit of a comedy show between you and I. Sorry, you missed some good one-liners, but next week. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's start off with a finished object. I did not knit this finished object. Donna did. My friend Donna. This is my hand-dyed yarn, though.
Mm-hmm. Your yarn, Donna's design. Or
Not Donna's
knitting.
design. Donna's knitting. The design, honestly, my show notes are buried. I will put the name of who designed this and the name of the pattern down below. I will put it down below, and I'll also put it in the show notes. I'm very sorry. Everything's buried right now because we did this, and oh wait, here it is. Hold on.
It is. Don Giovanni.
Don Giovanni. No, this is the Close to You shawl by Jusnia Loricosa. So I think it's beautiful. I love it to pieces. And
Close to You?
Close to You.
Sounds like a Carpenters song or something.
Well, I think it probably... Was it the Carpenters?
No, I don't know.
Why don't you sing it for us?
I don't know.
So this is my Posh base, the MCN base. And the colorway is Cosplay. And I'd like to think of another name for this color, because I think this color is such a pretty summery color. What do you think? Another different name for this color.
What's the name did you call it?
Cosplay. Do you know what cosplay is?
No, what?
It's where you dress up in a costume that you're a fan of a character, and you dress up in that costume, and you go to, like Comic-Con and those type of shows, and you dress up, and it's fun. And that's why I named it like this, because it's a fun color. But, I don't know. What do you think? It's got these beautiful raspberry speckles and pink and
very summery.
yellow. It's very summery. What do you think? You're good with summer names. Got a Beach Boys song?
No, but I got to sing Sinatra song.
What is it?
Summer wind came blowing through.
Oh, that's nice. We could name it Summer Wind. I love it. Perfect. I think I'm going to change it. There are 2 more skeins of this in the shop right now if you want to buy. One is a sparkly, and the other one I think is a 2-ply without sparkle sock weight. But this would make beautiful socks or a shawl. Nice sparkly summer shawl. I put this on today, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh, it just brightened my skin up. It was amazing how you put something on. And people said to me, wow, you look great in that color. What do you think?
Brightened everything up, kind of like that Jimmy Dean sausage on a roll commercial where they bite it and the sun comes out.
I don't watch commercials.
No.
I stream everything.
That's true.
I wouldn't know. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for name Summer Wind. Good one. Love it. Okay, I'm going to change the name on Etsy because, yeah, I'll have to change the yarn label too, but that's okay. All right. So I've been knitting in the car.
Really? Is that what you've been doing all this time? That we drive to work? I was wondering why you were humped over.
Yeah, I've been knitting in the car. I've been knitting on the couch. I've been knitting during lunch, at work.
You knit everywhere.
I knit everywhere all the time. And I'm basically monogamous to this project because I want to finish it. I might wear it to our retirement party depending on the color dress I find. I'm going on Friday to pick out a dress. We have Friday off for Memorial Weekend. So I'm going shopping. And you're going to go with me, but you said you're not going to look at the dresses with me.
Okay. I have to stand in a woman's department, outside of a woman's dressing room, and all these women walking in, walking out, waiting for you to come out. And no matter what I say, I'll say, oh, no, I don't really like it. And I'll go back in the room. No. No, thank you.
So you're going to go shopping.
I'm going to be like I'm going to go someplace manly like LL Bean.
Okay.
Where I should be, not Lord and Taylor's dress section.
Oh, I know. It's hard for you guys. But anyway, so this is the Knitting by the Pool shawl by Romi Hill, and I really am enjoying it. I love this shawl. It's so much fun. This is my hand-dyed yarn in a gradient set, and you're starting to see a little bit of the gradient. So see how it's lighter here on the end? Can you notice a little bit lighter?
Why do you call it Knitting by the Pool?
I don't know. She named it. I didn't.
Oh.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern name.
Pattern,
Knitting by the Pool. And again, everything's so just organized here. So yeah. Anyway, you can get an idea of what it's like. It's a half pie shawl, and the lace will be beautiful when it's blocked. I made a mistake, and I had to rip out 10 rows
Of
that lace.
Oh.
It was crazy. And no lifeline. So I ripped it out and used a smaller needle and picked it up again, and now I'm back to where I started.
Okay.
So I'm actually pretty good at fixing lace. I probably could have dropped down to fix it, but I just didn't feel like going through all that, so I just ripped it. That's how I learn, by ripping.
Okay. Learn by rip.
I learn by ripping. So that's that one. And then the only other one I've been working on is the Fairyhill Shawl by Helen Stewart, and that's this pattern. Oh, here's the other pattern. Here's Knitting by the Pool. That's what it looks like, the green one. And then this is another shawl, the Fairyhill Shawl by Helen Stewart,
no.
Curious Handmade. What?
Now I see why she called it Knitting by the Pool, because she has a blue one. You have a green one.
Yeah, this one's a blue one.
Yeah, you could have called yours Soylent Green.
A Soylent Green. It's people. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I actually, after I made the mistake on the green one, I couldn't really knit on it anymore because it was late at night and I didn't want to rip it out late at night. So I picked this up and just did a couple more rows and went to bed. So this is Fairyhill. I'm knitting it in my hand-dyed yarn. And it is the singles base with a sparkle to it. So I'm not putting beads in mine because I think it has enough sparkle. And I'm really enjoying it. So as soon as I finish the green one, I will concentrate on this one. And I'm going to cast on your sweater.
Okay.
I have to dye the yarn, though. And you have to pick a pattern.
Pick a pattern.
So I'm going to be knitting him a Aran weight sweater. Crew neck.
Mm-hmm.
Just a basic crew neck sweater. And he wants the neck to be gray and the cuffs to be gray and the bottom to be gray. Do you want a gray color block? Do you want it, or just the cuffs and the, I mean, do you want like big gray stripes? I could do that.
No, I don't want any stripes.
Okay.
No, we don't like stripes.
Okay, cool. That's fine. All right. So that's it for what I've been knitting.
Okay.
The next segment you're going to see is a segment that I re-recorded while Rich was cooking. So
the beads. Oh.
I talked
My favorite thing.
I talked
beads.
a lot about beading.
Oh, beading.
Putting a bead on it because I had a question about beading. So if you're into that, stay tuned.
So if your question isn't answered by now, you'll never get an answer.
So that segment is coming up right now. Okay, I'm going to do this segment of the show without Rich because he's busy barbecuing. I had a question in the couples Q&A section of my Ravelry group, which is Knit Style on Ravelry. And you can ask any kind of question in that thread. You can ask a question for Rich and I. You can just ask a knitting question of me. And this is a knitting question. So Mara Girl 8, hi Mara Girl 8, asks, I love the idea of beads incorporated into knitting. I've always wanted to do it, and I think it's time I give it a try. Can you recommend a good starter project? And what size beads are good to start with as well? I am an intermediate knitter. Thank you. Okay. So I have knit several projects with beads, and I did bring examples here to show you. And I did a search today on Ravelry for beginning beading projects. And I came up with this pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is called Simple Beaded Bookmark. And I thought this would be a great pattern just to start off beading with because it's basically just a swatch that is useful. Because I don't know about you, but I lose bookmarks all the time. So they're great for gifts, and it looks pretty easy and straightforward. You said you're an intermediate knitter, so this should be a snap for you. And I also have some other patterns that are more involved that I'll talk about. So this pattern uses the technique of putting the bead on with a crochet hook or with dental floss. So I use this product, Oral-B Super Floss, to string my beads. And it's a really great product because it has so many different components that are good for beading, and I'll talk about that now. So I picked out beads from my green shawl the other day. I'm going to be using these yellow beads because this shawl is a yellow-green. And I strung them on this dental floss. So what's nice about this, it's about 8 inches long. So I could technically string about 100 beads on here. I tie a nice big knot at the end. You can even knot a bead in there with it so the beads won't slide off at the end. And let me show you how this thing works. So the tip of it is very stiff, like fishing line. And so it fits through the holes of the beads very easily. So I'll put the beads in my hand and I just put the tip through the bead. And then if you can see here, the beads are kind of hanging out on this fuzzy strip right here. And they stay there very nicely, which I really love. So you can put a whole bunch on, slide them up, they'll stay on here. So then you slide them off and use this stiff part here in order to get the beads on the stitch. So I'm obviously not going to do a tutorial here in this show, but I will link to several tutorials that I like on YouTube in the description box down below. And all of my show notes are there in the description box down below. So that's basically what I use. I have to say I've never used a crochet hook to put beads on. I always use this method and I like this method, so I stick with it. If you're going to string the beads on the yarn prior to beading, which is another beading technique, it's helpful to use a beading needle, which you can get at a bead shop or a craft store. I didn't bring one as an example, but it's basically a long metal needle that kind of separates, and you can, so you have, you know, one skinny side and then another skinny side, and they're attached on both ends, so they separate, so you can put yarn through it, and then you can string beads with the beading needle. And that works very nicely if you have to string beads prior to knitting. So there's a whole bunch of different techniques on how to get beads on yarn, and those are two that I use most often. There are others. Well, not really. I mean, you're basically either gonna put them on with the dental floss threader or you're gonna pre-string. It's just where they sit on the yarn is what the effect you're going to get. So I brought some examples, and this is a cowl that I made to match a hat, and this is the very first beading project that I ever did. So the beads around the top of the hat here, these beads, these are all put on with a crochet hook, and the beads that make the diamonds are all pre-strung. And if you pre-string your beads, then your beads sit on the work very nicely, and you won't really see the back of the bead so much on the other side of the work, which I can't really show you because this is covered up, it's doubled over. If you put the beads on with the crochet hook, you can pretty much see the beads on both sides of the work. So it's just a matter of what the pattern calls for and your aesthetic with beading. Okay, so the second project that I would recommend, I'm wearing it. This is called the Pioneer Cuff by Laura Nelkin. And I made several of these for gifts a few years ago. And it's a really fun pattern. And what I like about it, it teaches you both techniques. So the beads in the middle, the larger beads, are pre-strung, and then the beads along the sides were put on by a crochet hook. And this one uses two different sizes of bead. The beads in the middle are size 6. The smaller beads on the outer ridge are size 8. And those are two of the most common sizes used in knitting because you need to get the yarn to fit through the hole. And I would say generally lace weight is good for the smaller size 8 beads, and then usually if you're using fingering, rule of thumb is to use size 6. I most often use size 6. I actually use size 6 on lace weight as well. These beads here, these yellow ones that I'm going to use on my Knitting by the Pool shawl, these are size 6. I just like size 6. I mean, I think they show up nice, and, you know, I don't know. They work for me. Okay, so I brought some other examples of beading that I have done. last week I was wearing this charcoal gray shawl. Many of you asked me about this shawl, and this is called Aeolian. It is a pattern by Elizabeth Freeman, I believe, and it's free on Knitty. So if you wanted to knit a shawl that's a little bit more difficult, you can knit this one. And I placed all the beads with the dental floss threader on this project. And this is Woolen Vine Yarns in the, I can't remember what colorway this is. Sorry, I'll put it down below. But I love this pattern. I'll link to it, like I said, down below. And yeah, it has beads and Knupps, if you can see. So Knupps are like little baubles. And if you're an intermediate knitter, you could tackle this. I knit this when I was basically a advanced beginner, and you know, I like lace knitting, it's my thing, so I picked up on this pretty easily. And this is that's actually the second one that I knit, and this is the first one that I knit. This is a lace weight size, the big size, and I used size 8 smaller beads on this one and much more beads on this one, and I placed each one of these by hand. There are more than 2,500 beads in the shawl, which is crazy. Okay, so another pattern, if you don't want to knit Aeolian, which is a crazy pattern with all sorts of charts, a pattern that I would recommend is the one I'm knitting now, the Fairyhill shawl. So this is by Helen Stewart. If you want to knit this now, you have to buy the whole collection, and you get one shawl every 6 months for the next 6 months. I think it's 6 months. And this is the first in the collection, the Fairyhill shawl. I like it because it has beading, but there's not like a crazy amount of it. And the lace is really simple. It's not really hard lace in this pattern. And she has written directions for the lace and charts. I'm a chart girl, but a lot of you, I'm sure, love written directions more. I mean, I feel like you're either one or the other. I can't knit patterns with written directions. They drive me crazy. So I enjoy charts, but yeah, this is the best of both worlds. You get written directions and charting on this pattern. And she tells you exactly where to put the beads. So I would recommend this. If you don't want to buy the whole collection, I think it'll come out as a standalone pattern at some point, probably in 6 months. Those are 3 patterns that I would recommend. Aeolian is the 4th pattern for beading. I think it's awesome. So you can also incorporate beads in other patterns in other ways. If you're a beginning beader, you know, that's kind of hard to do, but as you start beading, you can think of ways to put them in other shawls. So one thing I like to do, sometimes instead of putting Knupps in a shawl, like I showed you these Knupps, these little bobbly things, instead of putting those Knupps, I put a bead. So wherever it would tell me to put a Knupp, I would just crochet, or I would just put a bead in with a dental floss hook. So here's an example of a shawl where I beaded instead of putting a Knupp. So wherever those beads are, the pattern had called for a Knupp. Another way you can put beads in is just randomly. So for this pattern, I just added beads on the garter stitch section randomly. And I did this, funnily enough, I did this by shuffling a deck of cards. I took all the face cards out and I picked a card, and whatever the card said, say it said 5, I would knit 5 and then I'd place a bead. Pick another card, 7, I would knit 7 and then place a bead. That's how I did it. I did it randomly in the garter stitch section. It came out really pretty. So those are a few examples of beading. I hope that this helped you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask me in my Ravelry group. I will answer. There'll be a show thread in the Ravelry group. Please ask about beads if you want, or talk about them. I mean, I really enjoy putting beads in my shawls. I did this one last year. This beautiful turquoise pie shawl. This is Mystic Star by Anna Dalby. This did not call for beads, but I placed some beads just at the edge to give it a little weight. And I believe I found the tip for that on project notes from Ravelry. So sometimes if you look at patterns, if you click on the helpful notes, sometimes for shawls, people, if they put beads in, they will tell how they did it in their project notes. So I do that too. Like, I'll look at what other people did and see where they put beads. I had a Martina Bem shawl that I did that for as well. I looked at people's notes where they put their beads and I just copied them. So there's some tips for you. And I hope you all found that helpful. All right, let's talk about yarn.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the beading segment as much as I enjoyed not seeing it again.
Yeah, I know. Poor
Or not
baby.
being involved in it.
I know. Where's the yarn?
Don't know. I know. Oh,
Oh.
here it is.
Like I said, everything is everywhere.
No.
I had it organized before we started the first time.
I used to have a bar, but now it's turning
I
into
know.
a knitting center for
It's
alcoholics.
a knitting center.
Oh, here you go. Oh, you got those.
Okay, so the first one we talked about when I noticed that my microphone wasn't working was this one.
Yes, I like that one.
I know, it's really pretty. Rich said he wants a sweater out of it. You wear pink.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't wear pink?
Well, some men
Guys
aren't
that own
comfortable. Maybe, I don't know.
Who cares what you wear? Pink is a nice color.
Pink's a beautiful, and you look
Yeah.
good in pink too.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? Doesn't he look good in pink? It's
Pink is
actually,
nice.
yeah. This is like a dusky
Well, it's
rose.
like a manly pink. It's
Yeah.
got black in it. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's got this beautiful gray. So I love pink and gray. I'm obsessed with it. So this is like a dusky rose pink. And I'm calling it Velveteen after my favorite children's book, The Velveteen Rabbit. Because I just have the idea that he was pink. So I love
Okay.
that story, even though it makes me cry every time I read it.
Oh, okay.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Next one. This is after my favorite fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel.
Come inside, you little children, so I can fatten you up.
Here, sorry.
Yeah, I know. Well, those grim fairy tales, they were tough. They were grim. So this one, any guesses on the name? I said it while we were recording the last
Hansel
time.
and Gretel. Oh.
No, this is not Hansel and Gretel. Although I could name it that. Maybe I will. Maybe I will name it. Okay, this is now Hansel and Gretel. I'm not going to tell you what I was going to name it.
Oh, something good?
Yeah, and I'll dye in different colorway and name it that.
Okay.
So you'll see that next week. Anyway, this is Hansel and Gretel. And you'll have to watch our show to kind of get why. So, anyway, it's this beautiful black pink with a beautiful purple speckle.
The witch. That one's the witch.
Which one? Which one's the witch?
This one's the witch.
That one's the witch.
Oh, no, this is the witch.
The witch is in the middle.
Yes, and it's Hansel and Gretel.
And the delicious children are on the end.
Delicious. Fatten them up. And then eat the little
That's
boogers.
supposedly what she did. I don't know. Okay.
Next one's.
Next one. I dyed this one last week.
Oh.
And you guys liked it. It sold
What
out.
happened to this one? Got messy hair.
Yeah. No, it's just the end of the skein. So this is Prom Queen. I'm obsessed with this color. I love it. It's just so beautiful. The fuchsia and the orange and the purple speckle. I just love it. It's a diva like the Prom Queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have one in a sparkle, one in a 2-ply, and one in the trendy base, which is the 75-25 sock weight. They're all sock weight.
Okay, sooner
All right,
Soon our heads will disappear behind the yarn. These three go together.
Yep, those three, very good.
Yes.
Okay, so this is another new color. I am obsessed with this. If no one buys it, I'm going to knit it into a beautiful shawl. So this is... I couldn't let the show go by without a Disney reference.
Oh, no, God forbid. What's this one called?
This one's called Kill the Beast.
Oh, Kill the Beast.
It reminds me of when all the villagers
Such
were...
a romantic name for it, Kill the Beast.
Kill the Beast. It's when all the villagers were hunting the beast. They were, they're chanting "Kill the Beast."
Yeah.
Remember that part of the movie? So yeah, I love it. It has so many colors. I mean, all through it. And your face, the camera loves you so much. So, yep. So that's Kill the Beast. Lots of different rainbowy colors, but then a darkness to it. I love it. One of my favorites this week.
And these three colors go together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
This is Happily Ever After. I dyed this again because it sold out last week. In case you guys... This is my happy color. My happy Disney reference. Okay, I should have you name colors as you pick them out. One more.
Oh, one more?
Okay. So
What's this called? Someday my prince will come. No, da, 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 da. Oh.
Maybe that's what I'll name it. Okay, Someday My Prince Will Come. I think, you know what? I may change the name. So I was going to call it Prom Date. What do you like better? Prom Date or Someday My Prince Will Come?
I can't see too many prom dates dressing up like that. Someday my prince
Well, maybe
will
a
come.
girl prom date. Maybe some of the guys would dress like their date. Or maybe if two girls go to the prom. That'd be cool. Or two guys. Yeah. So,
Whatever.
So I actually like Someday My Prince Will Come. Thank you. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Although I already printed out the yarn labels.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I'll keep it at Prom Date.
50 Shades of Purple.
That's awesome. I actually called this one Erotica because this is an oops. I dyed Erotica before, and whenever I make a mistake when I dye, because dyers, we all make those mistakes, where I dyed this beautiful pink, and I was also at the same time dyeing a blue turquoise, and I had some of the dye on the blue turquoise dye on the spoon, and I went to stir the pink, and the blue turquoise got on the pink yarn, so it got ruined. It didn't get ruined. I did something called over dyeing, so I over dyed it because it's a light color, it doesn't matter. So I dyed it with this gorgeous dark purple, and I call this Erotica. It's got a little tone to it. I love it. It's pretty color. Okay, almost done.
Oh yeah, only 3 more to go. Ooh, I'm gonna name this after a rapper.
A wrapper?
Vanilla Ice.
Ooh,
Ice, ice, ice.
Ice Baby.
Is that what he says? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he says. It's actually called Ice Magic, actually.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Very good. So this was a color I had last week, and it sold out, so I dyed more. And this would make a gorgeous Fairyhill shawl, as would the dark purple and the pink and gray. They would all make beautiful Fairyhill shawls, I think. Or any kind of shawl. Or socks, if you like light colored pattern socks. And that's it.
That's it.
Oh, you know what I forgot to show? As I showed it the last time, I didn't show it this time.
Oh. The excited unicorn.
The excited unicorn. So this is the unicorn bag. This is our kit for the month or for the week. And I have 4 left. 1 sold. I have 4 left. And I dyed the yarn this week, and I think the yarn came out beautiful. So the yarn is called Excited Unicorn.
Okay.
I should name it Excited. That'd be funny. No, it's Unicorn Dream. So, I think I'm going to title the show Excited Unicorn.
Very good match, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm really happy with how that came out. So, Excited Unicorn it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's referring to the horses. There's a little drawing
Well,
on one of
like
them.
him,
It
yeah.
kind of looks like
They're on
he's...
all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Looks like a herd of excited unicorns. Sorry, I don't mean it. Sorry, Donna.
You know how men's minds go. So
You're forgiven for knitting that
You're in-
beautiful shawl.
you're in 3rd grade.
But she
so-
dropped a stitch on it, didn't she?
On this one?
Yeah.
Oh, you remembered.
Yes. Shame on you, stitch dropper.
I showed this the last time we recorded. Poor Donna. Sorry, Donna. Donna dropped a stitch.
Oh, Donna dropped a stitch.
You're so mean. And I will fix it with duplicate stitch right here.
Super glue.
That was super glue.
And where did you drop it? On a lap or?
No,
Oh.
she just didn't knit this one, so
Oh,
it's got that little bar over it.
Oh,
So,
I wouldn't have noticed.
No, but it will run. If I don't fix it, it'll run right down, and there'll
Oh.
be a hole in the shawl.
Oh, no,
so
no.
we have to fix it. So I will fix it. I will fix it.
Okay.
All right.
That's the end of your bag of magic.
That's the end. Thank you for naming some of my colors.
That's it. Thank goodness the crisis has arisen and we must act upon it.
I am so sorry about the microphone. I'm going to put a big sign on my camera next week and just hang it there for all eternity. Turn microphone on, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I've done that a million times. I've done. If you watch
You
my
do it
old
a lot of
shows,
times.
I've done it. But you usually remind me. All right, so I hope you guys have a great week. Happy knitting.
Yes. And
and
cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Or I give you something woolly.
Oh dear.
Crap all over the place.
I know. I'm surprised you didn't say anything. Your bar has been totally taken over by my shawls.
Yes, we'll get rid of it. I'm going to burn them all one night.
No, you're not. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry if the show is a little
It's very
all
odd.
over the place and off this week. We'll be better next week.